In celebration of the recent release of Pokemon Sun and Moon, bye bird. Just bye bird. So, context time for this 3-shot commentary. Some dweeb make a video about transgenderism and how he doesn't like it. Mina of Sync decided to make a commentary on that, Player decides to make a commentary on that, and then our targets Blueflame and Michael Schomer decided to make a commentary on that. Now, to be honest with you, I wouldn't say that it's in the shit category that came out this year. I mean, Blaze of Akanas one-shot on Sirius did its justice already, as well as its quickie on it, but let me tell you that I was not a huge fan of the video at all. And these points provided are probably some of the main reasons why.
Let me take time out of my meaningless life to respond to this video.
Well, you lied. Life is meaningless.
I might as well address something now. At many points in this commentary, he'll slam on the brakes that serve no purpose and doesn't debunk Mahalo Singh's arguments whatsoever. I know this might seem minor right now, but we'll expand on this later.
Alright, so some of you are going to disagree with me on this point here, and to be honest with you, this point here is minor, but hear me out. If I have to say something, and my full-length commentary is going to be somewhat proof on this, but one of my biggest pet peeves is when someone tries to repeat their points. My main issue is the fact that, since you are going to expand your point later on, why not actually address this point when you actually expand this point here, thus preventing you from repeating your point? With that in mind, to me personally, I kind of find this point to be, well, not absolutely pointless, but it could have been moved later on.
Bruce Jenner, once a renowned, masculine, Olympic athlete, now identifies himself as Caitlyn Jenner, a female. If I was born a boy, but I now identify myself as an Apache helicopter, and I attach a rotor to my head and glue rockets under my armpits, people would think I'm crazy.
Are you fucking kidding me? Listen, what you just fucking created is a logical fallacy. A helicopter does not know it's a helicopter. A female knows it's a female. How can you identify as something that doesn't even have a mind? This point is utterly retarded.
Alright, let's just say there was a guy that really wants to be a cat. Like, to be a cat, that's his dream. And a cat also has a mind. But does it make it okay that the guy will all of a sudden start to wear a cat costume, and he will never take it off, and he will walk around with it in public, and will start to talk with people by saying one word? Meow. You know, the way that cats communicate? No. It doesn't make that okay at all.
So to refute her point, which, by the way, you completely misinterpreted, you decide to make a comparison involving something with a brain as if it somehow debunks an Apache helicopter not having a brain. That doesn't even address the initial argument, as all it does is put the initial argument in a way where it's slightly less of an apples to oranges comparison.
Also, the way you described someone wearing a cat costume is more a fetish if anything, and last time I checked, being transgender is not considered a fetish.
Michael, fetishes wasn't relevant towards Player's point. All he was trying to say was that if you were wearing a costume and actually acted like a cat because you wanted to be a cat, then that's an issue. He never hinted towards the person wearing the costume trying to be seductive at all. Also, this might be a nitpick, but considering the fact that nitpicks aren't wrong, I might as well. Blueflame, what the hell is up with you two having different backgrounds? You, Blueflame, have a background that has various stuff that your avatar is doing, which cannot be that nitpicky douchebag and say that I prefer that you use a different background instead because I just find it jarringly weird. And you, Michael, have some kind of red flame slash electricity slash cloud thingy, whatever that is, background instead. And before anybody says that Michael has edited as part of the video in video format, one, I highly doubt it since that's the same background that Blueflame used when he came back from commentaries. And two, even if that was the case, why couldn't you, Blueflame, use the same background instead? This will lead me up towards an even bigger issue, which will be coming up right about now.
Did you even listen to what she said? She just got through explaining how they're not the same. Transgenderism by itself is not a mental disorder. Gender dysphoria, which can come along with being transgender, is what causes those individuals to experience symptoms such as stress, anxiety, and even depression, which can cause mental disorders.
Well, of course not, Blueflame. I mean, after all, listening is so hard.
And now we have come towards the main reason as to why I did this 3-shot. Audience, if you ever watched your co-op, get used to the interaction at this point here, because besides the intro skit, these two never interact at all throughout the commentary, which somewhat further proves my argument of two different backgrounds holding water at it being unnecessary, as it looks like you two are in different locations. Guys, I'm gonna have to say this, but you two really need to work on interactions with other commentators slash people within your projects. If not, then you two would have just made 2 separate videos instead, and the end result would be more or less the same thing. Not only that, but somewhat makes the video a lot more boring and uninteresting. Speaking of which, and this is my other problem with not only in this video, but possibly your other videos as a whole, you two, as harsh as it is, are very boring commentators. Please try to find something towards being engaging. Blueflame, I can somewhat give you a little bit of some slack since you are trying to be a more informative commentator, but DigitalTy is someone that I can come up with who is very informative within her commentaries, and I've managed to sit through 2 videos that went over 50 minutes while being engaged at the end. Maybe it's her being fast-paced a bit, maybe it's the background music, maybe it's the fact that she throws in at least one joke here and there. I don't know. My point is to try to be a little bit more engaged within your overall content. However, Michael, if I have to say anything, you're the worst in this scenario, since you are trying to come off as an entertaining commentator instead of being more informative, when, guess what? It's exactly the opposite. One way to help this out would have to be your overall delivery with lines, as I'm sorry, you don't really deliver your lines all that properly. Another way would actually be coming up with more jokes to say instead, and maybe a running gag here and there, as in, well, not a lot, but still pretty interesting. My overall point, Michael, is for you to actually be more entertaining than being informative. But guys, please, overall, please be more engaging.